Okay, everyone, please say it 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, very good evening to everyone. As usual, today too, we are going to begin Friday meditation session. So 11 months have gone and the month of December has come. We thought that we had a very long time to spend in 2025, but time has passed very fast, swiftly, and now we are in the last month of the year. This is how it is. All these oh my God. Mr. One, now you can hear us, right?
Yes, I can. Yeah, we had you for a moment, then lost you, but you're back.
Right, right. Thank you.
I'm so, and somehow I got unmuted. I don't know how. My apologies. Right. So we have constitutionally enacted these names like January, February, March, April, like that. But the truth is, the time cannot be named. It is passing as it is. It is not going to stop according to our own enactions. I mean, constitutional words, right? So, as wise meditators, what we need to do is we have to be diligent. Within with each and every moment, the life is passing. The wise people, what they do is they avoid, they let go of the unnecessary practices that waste our time. Instead, they practice something useful, which is beneficial for this very life, or something which is useful not only for this life and many lives to come. Meditation practice is such kind of a practice, which gives you a lot of benefits in this very life and many lives to come. Right? With an understanding, let's practice. Okay. Then nowadays we are practicing loving kindness meditation, and today, as I mentioned, we are going to practice. We are going to start the second method of loving kindness meditation. That's for the old students, but the new students, they can still practice the short version during these 30 minutes. So all students, they practice the first method last time. So you shared your loving kindness with from group to group. Like first you thought of yourself, then towards your parents, then teachers, then relatives, then friends, then enemies, and then finally with all the beings in the world. Then in this method, what you do is you use the same quotes, but you are going to spread your loving kindness without any such kind of attaching words. I mean, divisive words. You are going to think about all the beings in various kinds of directions. So we are going to think about all the beings. So in the front direction of you, right? So in the north, right? And all the beings in the south, right? All the beings in the north to me, right? All beings in the south to me, right? All beings in the east to me, right? All beings in the west to me. All the beings above me and all beings below me, right? Once again, all beings in the north to me, all the beings in the south to me, right? All the beings in the east to me, and all the beings in the west to me, and all the beings above me, and all the beings below me. These are the 6 categories, right? You're not going to divide them as this is my mom, this is my dad, these are my relatives, these are my friends, these are the neutral people, or these are my enemies, like that. Instead, you are going to share your pure loving kindness from direct uh, towards the people in these 6 kinds of directions, right? Yeah. And the loving kindness quotes, right, they won't change, right? The lines that we use to develop loving kindness within, they won't change. So in the first method, we used several quotes, right? May I be free from anger and hatred. Then may I be free from ill will and jealousy. Very nice. And then may I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering, right? And then after that, may I develop with loving kindness, compassion, good health, safety, and peace, right? And may I feel comfort and ease. And finally, may I attain real peace, Nibbana, right? Then, in the second method, what you do is you have to think. First, you have to share loving kindness with yourself, and then you have to think about all the beings in the north to you, right? May all the beings in the north to me be free from anger and hatred, ill will and jealousy, mental suffering, physical suffering, and may they develop with loving kindness, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May they feel comfort and ease, right? And finally, may all the beings in the north attain real peace, Nibbana, right? And then please pay your attention to the beings in the south, right? And then pay your attention towards the beings in the east. Then please pay your attention towards all the beings in the west. And then may all the beings above me, and may all the beings below me, right? So like that, without any discrimination, uh, please spread your loving kindness towards all these 6 directions, right? 6 directions, right? Then when you practice loving kindness um, meditation practice, right? We need to develop these policies within. If you want, you can write them down. So when you practice it, you have to think. So these are the general policies that you need to develop in your life. Okay, right. First one is I am not an enemy of anyone. Right, you think I'm not an enemy of any being. Right, the others may think me as an enemy, but for me, all the beings are not enemies. Right, and then I'm a friend to everyone. Right, I'm a friend of all. Right. So I'm a well wisher, I'm a friend to all the beings. Right? And then the third policy that you need to develop within is I am a helper to all. Right? Without any discrimination, I am a helper to all the beings. Right? Let them come from any cultural background, ethnical background, and then political background. It doesn't matter. So I am a helper to all the beings. That's the third policy. And I am a well wisher of all beings. I'm a well wisher of all beings. That is the fourth policy. Then the fifth one is so that person thinks about others' losses, harms, and difficulties, sufferings, and disgraces as one of his or her own. Right? When such kind of thing, unfortunate thing happens to someone, this means is you become sensitive to that, right? You do what you can, right? At least you share your loving kindness with them, right? So then next one is thinking so he or she never does such an action towards anyone. That means you don't cause you try your best not to cause any trouble, not to cause any harm, not to cause any difficulty, right? Not to hurt anyone, giving your best, right? And then next one is uh, so becomes tolerant of others' wrongdoing, right? It doesn't mean when injustice happens you keep your mouth shut, right? You have to talk about that, but because of other people's wrongdoing, you do not develop deep hatred towards them. That's what it means. But you will talk. So you cannot manipulate or let the other people to do wrong thing again and again, right? You do your best, but at the same time, um, so you don't develop any hatred because of that. That's what it means. And becomes forgiving. You have developed a policy of forgiving, right? When the other people did some kind of wrong action, you have to think people have negativities. I also have negativities. So poor person or poor persons, since they didn't understand what is right and what is wrong clearly with wisdom, that person or those people might have done this. May they gain wisdom, right? I forgive them, right? Instead of keeping a grudge, you become forgiving. That's number 8. Final one, number 9. So maintain acts of loving kindness in front of others and in secret, right? So you not only you practice loving kind, do actions of loving kindness in front of the other people, even in secret. You try to develop loving kindness towards all the beings. It doesn't matter whether they are present or not present. You have loving kindness at both times. Such kind of people, they don't like to talk bad about the others in front or at the back, both times, on both occasions, right? Because they always wish the others to live well, right? Okay, these are the 9 policies of a loving kindness meditation practitioner. Okay, please develop them within. Now we are going to start today's loving kindness meditation. Everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. So during the loving kindness meditation, if you feel pain in your legs, you have the full authority, full freedom to change your posture, right? During the Vipassana meditation, all students didn't have the opportunity to change the posture, right? But not during this meditation. If it is very painful, then you can change, right? Okay. Then before we begin the silent meditation, so I will pay sincere respect and gratitude towards Buddha, and after that, let's begin today's meditation. Everyone, please close your eyes and concentrate. Please concentrate. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vinyācarane sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattā deva manusādam buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sangdittiko akaliko ehi pasiko penaiko machatang veditabbo vinyuhiti Supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Udumanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samichi manipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Attemurisa puggalam Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyakhitam lokasati Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a balanced, compassionate mind, with loving kindness, with a very patient mind, please start your meditation. If you are a no student, please start practicing the second method of loving kindness meditation. If you are a new student, please practice the short version of loving kindness meditation. In that technique, please start spreading your loving kindness towards yourself first, thinking, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. Then please think about your parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. And please think, may they also be well, happy, and peaceful. And then after that, please think about all the neutral people, those who don't belong to the category of friends and enemies, the neutral people, and then wish, may they also be well, happy, and peaceful. And after that, please think about your enemies, and please think, May your enemies also be well, happy, and peaceful. And finally, please think about all the beings in the world and wish, may all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Please practice like that. Now, everyone, please start your silent meditation now. I sincerely wish may your meditation be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Bhavatu Sampe Mangalam Rakantu Sampeti Vetam Samme Buddhanubhavini Samme Dhammanubhavini Samme Sanghanubhavini Sada Stuti Mavang Tuti Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Now everyone, please calmly open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom and bottom to top. Now please join your palms together and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dham friends, hope you had a very good loving kindness meditation session. And I especially request to share loving kindness with Sri Lanka. You know, not only Sri Lanka, several Asian countries, even now, so are battling with uh, flood disaster. Right? Already in our country, so more than close to 500 people are confirmed dead, and then around 400 people are already declared as unknown. Right? So they have we don't know about any news about those 400 people, right? And then so many people have lost their whole properties, right? That they earned throughout their life. So let's think about them. Not only that, in Indonesia, as I heard, more than 800 people are already confirmed dead, and then there are so many people. Then the number that have disappeared is unknown. And in Vietnam, it is going on, and then in Philippines, it's going on. So like that in various Asian countries. So even in India, but fortunately, when the same cyclone reached India and Bangladesh, so it only created fortunately, minor damages. Right. So flooding was not that bad, but fortunately, most of the neighboring countries they came and helped. So let's think of all those people that got affected. Right. And may all the people who passed away may they gain this positive energy and may they be able to be born in a very good realm. And may all this positive energy be with all the sick people, right? May they be able to recover very soon. And at the same time, may all the people who so who have lost everything that they have, so completely or partially. May they be able to revive again, and may they be able to build once again comfortable, good lives. Right? So let's share all loving kindness and positive energy with them. Please say 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now it's your small break time. So if you want to go to the bathroom or if you want to drink water, this is the time. And after this, we are going to learn about another very important, final, and one of the most important perfections, the equanimity. Okay, get ready for that. You can take your break. If you don't want to, please stay inside. Everyone, please say 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, so throughout the last weeks, except the 2 weeks that we reserved to introduce loving kindness meditation, we were discussing about the 10 perfections. 10 perfections that a meditator must develop within. Right? We learned about the first one. Right? What is the first one? Dana. Very nice, Mr. Tim. So dana means generosity. What is the second one, Ms. Jane? Morality, which is called as sila. Yeah. And third one is, strange Bhaiya? Yes, renunciation or nekkam in Pali language. So we use the term letting go. Right? Then Mr. Elliot, fourth one. Yeah. So yes, panya means wisdom. Right? What is the fifth one? Really nice, Harsh. Courage. Buddhi. Then sixth one, Kanti means patience, right? Abhi, Samantha. Oh, you were not here, right? Right. I'm not going to ask one. Malaka, do you know? Tanwade? Right. Mr. Juan, seventh one.
Truthfulness.
Very nice. Good job. Truthfulness, right? Then eighth one is Adithana, in English, determination, right? Then after that, ninth one is loving kindness. Since I have taught a lot of, a lot of details related to loving kindness, I'm not going to talk about it in details, right? Here, loving kindness means, so it differentiates from it is different, from the general loving kindness, because you have to practice it when you practice it as a perfection, you have to practice it with two things, right? First one is with wise consideration, right? Second one is not only wise consideration, so out of compassion towards oneself and the others, right? So that's how loving kindness practice becomes a perfection. I have taught you so many other details during the loving kindness session too. Therefore, I'm not going to go into details, because today we had discussed about the 10th one. We don't have a lot of weeks left, right? So we have today, and then after that we have 12, and then after that 19. So 12 and then 19. After that, I have to consider about the 26, because it is the very day after the Christmas. And sometimes certain people like to take rest on that day. Let's see. So then today we are going to learn about the 10th one, 10th perfection, equanimity. This is the hardest among all the 10 perfections. It's the hardest among all the 10 perfections. In other words, equanimity means balancing the mind, the balance of mind. So maintaining the balance of the mind. Right? In circus, you might have seen the players who, do you call them the actors or the players? Circus men. Yeah, circus men. Acrobats, right?
Performers.
Performers, that's the word. The performers. In circus, you might have seen when they are performing, they balance their body, right, on a on a very tiny rope, right, without letting the body to fall. I mean, letting the body to move to one side, right? If they move more to the right side, they'll fall, and if they move more to the left side, again they are going to fall. But they balance the body like that. When you practice equanimity, what you are trying to do is you are trying to keep the mind balanced amidst all kinds of chaos that you are facing throughout your life, right? In commentary, so I translated how the commentary describe equanimity, the perfection called equanimity. Maintaining the balanced mind towards all beings and all objects with wisdom and compassion. Um, so, with wisdom and compassion is called the perfection of equanimity, right? So, with wise consideration and with compassion towards all oneself and all the beings. So, developing equanimity within is called as the practice of perfection, the perfection called equanimity, right? Perfection of equanimity. So, in this practice, basically, what you do is um, you develop a balanced mind, right? You develop a balanced mind towards the people that bring you distress, that cause suffering in your life, that hurt you, and that give you pain. So, towards them, you develop a balanced mind, as well as towards the people. You develop a balanced mind towards the people that respect you, right? And that help you and that like you. There are people, those who respect, show you the respect, those who help, and those who like you, right? Even towards them. So you develop a balanced mind. Can you understand? And at the same time, you develop a balanced mind towards the things that we call as beautiful or ugly, towards objects and beings that we call as beautiful or ugly. We develop a balanced mind. Can you understand? So there are, so according to the general people's point of view, so there are people, there are things which are beautiful or not, I mean, ugly. But the meditator who practices the perfection of equanimity, that person develops a balanced mind towards all these things. So there are people that favor you, there are people who don't favor you and who try to harm you. Inside you, uh, so you develop uh, a balanced compassion towards both the sides, and you don't favor anyone. That's why I told you this is the hardest one to develop, right? But this is the way, this is the door which opens you towards the enlightenment, right? So little by little, you can develop this within. I will teach you several things that you can do in your daily life to develop the balance of your mind, right? So when you have the balance of your mind, so such kind of people, so they don't let the unarisen problems to rise. Can you understand? And at the same time, they don't let the arisen problems to escalate, right? And then they allow, by their practice of equanimity, they allow all the other fellow human beings and non-human So human beings as well as for non-human beings, they by their practice of equanimity, they create a world to live with peace, comfort, and happiness. And at the same time, around such kind of people, they have the uh, sense of safety, right? Sense of safety, right? Then uh, so, but that practice is very very hard. So um, during the Meiji period, I think so. In Japan, a small story. In Japan, uh, during the 18th century, during the 18th century, from 1758 to 1831, there lived one famous Bhante called Ryokin. That Bhante's name was Ryokin Taigu. Ryokin Taigu. Generally, in the Western world, we address Buddhist monks as Bhante, but in Japan, what they call is Sensei, right? Sensei. Sensei Ryokin Taigu, right? He was very famous about his ardent practice, and um, after spending 10 years of very ardent practice in a forest monastery, later on Ryokin came to a village temple and star on which situated on the top of a mountain, and then he lived there, um, leading a very simple life. Meanwhile, in this very area, there was a robber. One day, this robber thought that Bhante Ryokin might have some money, so he secretly went inside the temple to steal the money, the donations of the temple. And at that time, Bhante Ryokin was chanting. When Bhante Ryokin was chanting, he had a policy, right? He was so disciplined. Whoever it comes, even though the emperor of Japan comes, he is not someone who would stand and talk to those people during his chanting time. So he was chanting, and he noticed the robber's entrance. I mean, he saw the robber coming, but Ryokin, he kept on chanting. He kept on continuing his evening chanting. At that time, the robber, he brought a knife with him. He directed that knife towards Bhante Ryokin and said, Bhante Ryokin, give whatever the money that, I mean, valuable things that you have. If not, I'm going to kill you. But Bhante Ryokin, he kept on chanting. While the chanting is going on, the robber heard some kind of a different, peculiar chanting. He heard the chanting like this. So with the rhythmic tone, Bhante Ryokin said, "Oh, uh, I have some money inside this, under the table of this particular place. Please take it and go." So he didn't break his chanting voice. With the very chanting voice, he said, "Take that money under the table and go home." And the robber understood that. And he went and took the small amount of money that which was under the table, and then he began. So he got ready to leave. At that time, but he again had another peculiar chanting. With that chanting tone, Bhante Ryokin told him, so when you got something as a gift, don't you have manners to say thank you? Then that robber said, "Thank you, Sensei, so much," and he left. But his stealing continued. All people were not kind like Bantaryoken. Finally, they caught this robber and hit him as much as they want, and then handed him over to the imperial court. Then, so someone who was in the village got to know that this robber has stolen stuff even from poor Bantaryuki. So he, on behalf of Bante, he also he inserted Bantaryukin's name to the list who accused that person for stealing. Finally, the royal court asked Bantaryukin, so the royal court asked Bantaryukin to appear in front of the court to, to give, witness, like, so witness. Then at that time, Bantaryukin went. All the others, all the others who got affected because of this robber, they started. So they had a very long list of wrong actions that they want to reveal about this robber. After all those long descriptions, then it was the time for Bantaryukin. The judge asked Bantaryukin, did this man come and steal your money? Then Banta said, oh judge, yes, it is true that he came to the temple. I gave him some money. When he was leaving, he even told me, thank you. And that's done. But but because of the other people, other people's witnesses, because of the other witnesses, the robber got jailed. But he was so impressed by Bantaryukin's non-attachment and equanimity. Finally, whenever he got released from the prison, he came and became a student of Bantaryukin. And then he asked Bantaryukin to teach him the technique of forgiveness and equanimity. Bantaryukin taught him. Later on, he became a great Dhamma teacher in Japan. Right? So that's how it is. It can do a great impact in people's lives. It can change. If you have equanimity, it can move people. Right? So how? So in commentary, it teaches about certain ways to think, so that we can develop equanimity within. So that we gain motivation to develop equanimity within. If you want, please write them down. So, first way of thinking to motivate yourself to develop balance of mind. So, you have to think, being jubilant, seeing others that respect me, like me, and help me, as well as being angry at people who harass me, ridicule me, or harm me, is a general quality of the general people. But I'm meditated. Until I do so, I won't be able to attain real peace, Nibbana. Right? Therefore, let me develop equanimity towards all. So that's the first way of thinking. Second way of thinking. The 8 vicissitudes come and go. Can you remember the 8 vicissitudes? Right. First two, gain and loss. Very nice. Abhi, can you remember? Gain and loss. Mr. Elliot, number 3 and 4. Yeah, praise. So that's number 5 and 6. Right. Mr. Tim? Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, yes. So,
Oh, yeah. So prosperity and disgrace, right? So sometimes you become prosperous, sometimes you become poor and you lose all kinds of fame and wealth and everything, prosperity, right? And then, so as Miss earlier said, praise and blame, right? Number 5 and 6, and then finally 7 and 8. Very nice, Harsh. Comfort and discomfort. In other words, happiness and unhappiness, right? So these are the 8 vicissitudes of life. They come and go, right? They always come and go. That is their nature. What to do? So letting them shake me drains my energy, right? If I let them to shake me all the time, so just like, I mean, whenever you kick at football, right? It get tossed up here. I mean, here and there, right? You don't want to get tossed up like that. So therefore, it drains my energy. Therefore, let me develop equanimity. When you think like that, you develop motivation to practice equanimity. If someone does not have equanimity, um, so that person cannot develop pure generosity, right? I like to practice pure generosity. Therefore, let me develop equanimity, right? When you have equanimity, you give material and immaterial things. I already taught you when I was teaching about dana, practice of generosity, that we can give 2 things, right? Material things and spiritual things. Both are donations. When you give them, right? So we have to give them purely, without expecting anything in return, even a thank you, right? So that's the practice of equanimity towards everybody. So therefore, I like to practice pure generosity. Therefore, let me develop equanimity. Number 4. So these are several ways to motivate yourself to practice the balance of mind, right? If someone has no equanimity towards the world, that person cannot develop pure morality, right? I might break my morals due to attachment and conflicts. I attach to people or things, or if I conflict with people and things, then it can break or pollute my morals, right? Even such thoughts of craving and aversion can abuse my mind. I like to develop pure morality. I want to practice pure morality, right? Therefore, let me develop equanimity. Thinking so, you motivate yourself. This is the 4th way. 5th one, if I am partial to one group and impartial, uh, then if I am partial to one group and against another group, I cannot differentiate the truth and untruth. Right? If there are 2 groups, and if I like one and if I don't like one, then I cannot. So um, when I talk to them, so I have biasness inside me, so that in certain situations I cannot figure out what is the truth and what is the untruth. So therefore, um, so as a person who loves the truth, so let me develop equanimity. Right? Thinking so, you motivate yourself. Then, if I have no equanimity, I cannot see what is right and what is wrong clearly. Right? If you have a biased mindset, you cannot see what is right and what is wrong clearly, right? Only if you have an open mind, you can understand what is right and what is wrong, right? Then, let's say um, there is someone that you really like. That person says stealing is fine. But if you are biased, right? If you're biased, if you don't have the equanimity within, what happens is you go along with that person's opinion. You get influenced by such kind of people's words, right? Even though they are wrong. You cannot see the wrongness within those words. You're bound to follow, blindly follow. But you are not going to do so if you have equanimity. So, therefore, uh, to gain the ability to see the right and the wrong, well, I will develop equanimity, right? Then next one is, if I attach to one group and it can promote my ignorance, right? It can promote my delusion. So I don't want to let my ignorance grow. To let it go, let me develop equanimity, right? And then number 8, because of lacking equanimity, craving and aversion will dominate me, right? It can break my promises, right? When you have favors, if you blindly favor certain things or certain groups or so like that, then sometimes you can break the words that you give, right? The promises, right? It's not a characteristic of a noble person, right? But you want to have a noble character, right? Honest character. And it will also affect my truthfulness and determination. It can shake your determination if you are favorable to someone, right? So even though you don't do a wrong action, when someone did a wrong action, to cover that up, you can fabricate lies. Doesn't that happen in the world? It happens. I don't want to be like that. Therefore, I need to develop equanimity. Right? So, thinking any of these are 8 ways of thinking. So, you can pick one of them or some of them, and think that way, and think um, that way or those ways, so that you can motivate yourself to develop equanimity, right? And in your day-to-day life, you can practice equanimity through these kinds of practices, right? Practical practices. Number 1 is, when others praise you or respect you, think it as a nature of beings, right? Sometimes people praise you, oh, you are a great person, how nice you are, right? You are very talented, right? You are so beautiful, right? Like that, people praise you, right? And people respect you. At that time, you should not let your ego grow, right? Instead, what you should think is, oh, it may be true or it may not be true, but somehow this is praising and respecting. This is the nature of beings. When you think like that, you don't let your ego to grow, and you try, by that way you practice the balancedness of your mind. Sometimes uh, uh, so certain people praise you, but they have a hidden plan within. If you get moved by their fake praises, sometimes you can fall into those such kind of people's traps. It has happened in the world, right? So this won't happen if you can develop the balancedness when such kind of things happen. If you can humbly accept those praises or respects peacefully, and if you don't let your ego to grow because of that, and instead if you let your equanimity to grow and take its own place, then you will be able to live a humble life even amidst such kinds of praises and respects, right? So when others scold you or disrespect you, at that time to, instead of getting upset, what you should do is you have to think, this is also the nature of beings. Sometimes people come and praise you. The very people later on, when you did something small, some kind of a small wrong thing, they scold at you, right? They disrespect you. This is how the world. Inside such kind of world, let me live peaceful, right? So thinking so, you develop equanimity. This is a practice that you can do, right? Sometimes your co-workers are so nice to you, right? They do everything. They praise you, they give you gifts, right? They talk nicely about you. And later on, when something goes wrong, then they sometimes those very people, they start to scold at you and criticize you. This is how the way, this is how the nature of beings. So, thinking so, you can practice equanimity, right? And do whatever the best thing that you can do um, at that particular time without being moved by those kinds of worldly things. And when someone cooked for you, don't criticize the taste. Eat happily and appreciate. Right? When the other people cook for you, all are not uh, very good cooks, right? I don't know the best. I don't know the name of the best cook in United States, but no one can compare. Everybody cannot be like that, right? Uh, so right, there are various kinds of names, but somehow uh, all cannot be like that. The certain people cook so well, certain people cook mediumly. I mean, they are good, but medium, not up to the top. Their cooking is not up to the top. And certain people, they cannot cook that much well, and even though how much they try, the taste is not that very good. But somehow, instead of criticizing and saying, "Oh, your food is horrible," don't say like that. Instead, appreciate the human time that person has taken to cook that, and eat it with a balanced mind, and make it an opportunity. If the food is very bad, think this is an opportunity to practice equanimity and don't criticize and give a smile and eat, right? Right. And then that's another thing that you can do, right? When you get gifts, do the same. Sometimes all people are not wealthy and not capable of giving too. Some people have, some people are very greedy, even though they have money. Some people can give, some people cannot give, right? So even though they want to give, they don't have enough. Then, according to their mental capabilities and material capabilities, they give you something. Instead of criticizing, asking, oh, what kind of a cheap thing that you have brought here, just appreciate. At least that person practice giving. That's also enough. Thinking so. Instead of letting the negative emotions develop equanimity. Be contented with what you have, right? Everybody cannot become Bill Gates, right? Everybody all won't become Elon Musks, right? All won't become all kinds of Ambanis or any other, Alibaba or so any other rich person, right? So, therefore, be happy with what you have. Count your blessings. There are thousands and not thousands. There are billions of people who don't have your luck, right? Appreciate what you have and be happy with what you have. And if you can earn more, try for that. But while trying for those things, be contented with what you have. Be happy with what you have and count your blessings. Then, finally, right, while facing 8 vicissitudes, think that this is also impermanent. Right? We already talked about the 8 vicissitudes: gain and loss, prosperity and disgrace, and praise and blame, and comfort and discomfort. When all those things come, when you have to face all such kind of things in life, think this is also temporary, changing, impermanent. When you think like that, mind becomes balanced and you practice equanimity. That's enough for today. Now, everyone, please think together, all of us gathered here, and practice this noble non-sectarian pure meditation technique and accumulated a lot of positive energy. By the power of all this positive energy, everyone, please think. May all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. May you be able to practice this noble, non-sectarian, pure Dhamma path very ardently. And practicing this noble, non-sectarian, pure Dhamma path, eradicating all the negativities, developing all the positivities. May all of us attain real peace, Nibbana. Everyone, please join your palms together and concentrate. අභිවාදන සීලෙස නිච්ඡං බද්දා පචායිනෝ චතරෝ ධම්මා වඩ්ඩන්ති ආයුවන්නෝ සුඛං බලං ආයුරාෝග්‍ය සංපatti සග්ග සංපatti මේවච අතෝ නිම්මාන සංපatti ඉමිනාති සමිජ්ජතු. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night to everyone. Take care of yourself. I sincerely wish may all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. And see you again in the next week. Until then, take rest. Secure. Bye. All right. Good night, Mr. Howard.
Good night, and thank you, Bante.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Ms. Rita.
Good night.
May all the good happen to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Rahul and Pragati, good night. Rahul and Pragati, good night. All right. Ram Bhaiya, good night.
Good night, Bhante, and thank you very
Night.
much.
May all the good happen to you. Sukhi ho. Rahul.